La mesa, la mesa, la mesa. Él está cansado. And I don't even finish off the word. Brr, brr. Oh yeah, está muy caro. And my boyfriend's like, no, caro. Hi guys, this is Anna from Kakibana, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the most difficult things to master when learning Spanish. Now, I've been speaking Spanish for the last 5 years and I still make mistakes on these things. So if you're just starting out and learning Spanish, then I suggest that you try and master these from the very beginning so you'll sound more like a natural speaker earlier rather than later. So if you want to hear about my experience about learning Spanish in 2 months, then I did a video on that, so I'll leave the link below, so be sure to check that out as well. Other videos that I've done regarding Spanish, the most common phrases, also how to learn a language fast, then I'll also leave the links of those videos down below and you can check them out. And guys, if you like my videos, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel so I can keep making more for you. Okay, so the first thing that I found really hard to master in Spanish is the masculine and feminine nouns and adjectives. Now, this is the case in all Latin languages, so French, Italian, Portuguese, and Spanish as well. So all of these, I'm sure you kind of would have the same problem with this. So the other languages that I speak, which are English and Japanese, in these two languages, the nouns don't have a gender. So you don't have to think about whether it ends in an A or an O and whether to change the adjective when you're talking about the noun. So this is a real struggle for me, even to this day after 5 years of speaking Spanish. So for example, you take a feminine noun, so for example, la mesa, and la mesa is feminine because it ends in an A, and also the article that comes before it, the table, is la, not el, because el is masculine. So la mesa. Now that could be simple enough to do that, la mesa, but then when you add an adjective to describe la mesa, then for example you want to say the red table, you have to, so red, the word red is rojo, but rojo, that ends in an O, and then so if you're talking about a table, you have to change it to a feminine adjective, which becomes la mesa roja. Now, so this has to happen in a split second. You have to find the adjective and then change it into a feminine or masculine adjective in a split second. And I still find this really hard to do. So what I would suggest to you, if you're learning Spanish, then if you're learning a noun, then I would suggest instead of just learning mesa and just putting in your head mesa, 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 like I did, you should put la mesa and learn it as two things together. So la mesa, la mesa, la mesa, so that it just comes out naturally when you're saying the word in the future. And then put an adjective as well, so it becomes one phrase, so you're used to adjective ending in an A. So instead of just learning mesa, instead of just learning la mesa, then you could try learning la mesa roja, la mesa roja. And so that you would learn that all together as a phrase, and so you would make less mistakes in the future. Now, these adjectives are not just for nouns, but they are also for people. So for example, I am a girl. So for example, if I want to say I am tired, I say estoy cansada. And I end the word cansada with an A because I'm a girl, and so I'm tired, estoy cansada. But for example, if I'm talking about a boy, then I would say él está cansado with an O at the end. Él está cansado. And so, and that also has to happen in a split second, and so you have to kind of register your brain and change the adjective in a split second. So that also from the very beginning, you, instead of just saying cansado, cansada, practicing that, you could learn it in terms of él está cansado, ella está cansada, and learn it as a phrase rather than a single word. So I'm still trying to improve that, but because I know that I always make mistakes, and sometimes it's really embarrassing when I make a mistake because, for example, I want to say to a person, they're trying to help me or something, and I want to say, oh, don't worry about it. And in my video about the common phrases in Spanish, I said this, but you say, oh no, tranquilo, or no, tranquila, which means, oh, don't worry about it, like stay calm, kind of thing. And it's really embarrassing when it's a man trying to help me and I say, oh no, tranquila. And I'm like, oh no, I said the feminine word, but he's a man. And so those times are really, really embarrassing and I feel really bad, but obviously they know I'm a foreigner, so they kind of cut me some slack on that. Sometimes I kind of take a shortcut, or it's not really a shortcut, it's my way of kind of save myself. But for example, I know that I don't know which one I'm going to say because I have to make the decision in 1 second. So I say, oh, él está cansado. And I don't even finish off the word. I don't say O or A, I just say, ah, él está cansado. And so it kind of sounds like I was like just said it really fast and I said O or A, doesn't matter. But obviously that's not really a good tip to give you guys because it doesn't really sound good and you don't really sound like a good speaker. So I recommend learning the phrases from the very beginning. So in my opinion, I didn't really find the grammar or vocabulary that hard to learn. I learnt it with a teacher, I learnt it with a book, and I was able to learn them quite quickly because it's quite structured and organized, and I was able to do that. But one of the main things that I still have trouble with, or that I still don't do all the time, is the r sound. So the r and rolling your tongue. So for those of you who can't do it, you need to be able to do it in order to speak Spanish really well. So the way I practiced it is I know that you have to put a lot of force into your mouth from the back, and I did it when I started with a p sound. So I did brrr, brrr, instead of just rrr, because that's a bit harder. So start with a p sound with your mouth closed and then put all the force into it. And then what you have to do is the front of your tongue, you have to loosen the front of your tongue and just let it flow, while the back of your tongue kind of stays strong. And so start off with the p sound, or the mouth closed, and just put in all the force you can from the back of your mouth. Go brrr, brrr, like that. Then once you've mastered that, then you don't have to start with the mouth closed and you can start off rrr, rrr. So because this R sound is really important. So if it's a double R, then it's the rrr sound. If it's one R in the middle of a word, then it's just r sound, softer. So for example, carro is car, but if you say caro, means expensive. The only difference is that one has double R, one has one R, but they mean different things. So you have to pronounce it correctly. El carro, or está muy caro, expensive. So you have to master the R sound. For me, I guess sometimes I want to show that I can roll my tongue. So I say, oh yeah, está muy caro. And my boyfriend's like, no, caro. And I'm like, oh, well, I was just trying to show that I could roll my tongue, kind of thing. But obviously, yeah, it's the pronunciation, so you have to pronounce it correctly. And the other thing, and then this is the other extreme, but because I can roll my tongue, I'm kind of embarrassed to roll my tongue because, I don't know, it sounds too good or something. But yeah, make sure you roll your tongue when words start with R. Even though it's just one R, if it's at the beginning, then you have to make the R sound. So for example, responder, respond, responder. You have to roll your tongue at the beginning. Or reloj, which is watch, reloj, and you want to roll your tongue. So don't be shy with this, because with languages, it's all about pronunciation and all about exaggerating your pronunciation as well. That makes you a more natural speaker. Okay, well, I hope you found these things helpful. Leave me a comment below telling me if you have the same problems or none of these problems at all, or what other problems that you had learning Spanish. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and give this video a thumbs up. I will see you next time. All right, thanks guys. Bye.